Most people's like, oh my god, why do you love your dad? What did your dad do? I'm about to tell you. If you don't want to buy me something, that's okay, my dad will. If you don't want to talk to me every 5 minutes, that's okay, because my dad will. If you don't want to text me back, that's fine, because my dad will. If you don't want to stay on the phone with me for an hour, that's okay, because my dad will. If you don't want to buy me food or buy me what I want, that's okay, because my dad will. If you don't love me, that's okay, because what? My dad will. If you don't believe me, that's okay, because my dad will.
Snakewood Net Hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
What's going on in this David case? They said they made an arrest and it's still not him. That's crazy. I mean, the fact that he's melanated, name has been mentioned this close to a hot one, and he's yet to be arrested is not typically how things go. So it really makes me think that it must be something going on other than what meets the eyes. But yeah, seems like a female has gotten arrested. But let's get this update cracking with no further ado. See what those involved in this David case have been up to.
Okay, people, I've got a very interesting update for you today, and this
is Trap Lord Ross's channel, Trap More Ross. He is doing it. Culture Vulture, hey, Mike can't deny that, but he sure is bleeding the culture at the time, doing big numbers on my mama. And he looked out for the homie 4 extras. Neighborhood off the bat. Welcome home, Spody Face, man. Black Box cracking, cuz. Where you at? Hit my phone, hood.
connects to the David case in a way that I think is definitely very telling. But, okay, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to cap to you guys, okay? I don't want you guys to think that this is a story about David getting arrested. This isn't a story about David getting arrested. The news that's just come out, okay, and it is a little bit confusing. The news that's just come out says that KTLA reports an arrest. Now, look, this is just a snippet from the article. Okay, I'll tell you what this article says, and then I'll explain to you what's really going on. All right, it says officials of the Los Angeles Police Department announced the arrest of a 52-year-old woman in connection with the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
52 years old? That man, she older than me.
Hernandez, who was discovered dismembered in the trunk of a Tesla registered to multi-platinum R&B singer David. Sandra Romero Diaz, a resident of Los Angeles, was arrested on September 16th after search warrants were executed at multiple locations, police said in a news release. She's been charged with the LA County District Attorney's Office with murder. Now look, just going to make it very clear, this is misreporting, okay? They've made a mistake. An arrest has been made, but it's not in the case of the David situation, okay? So before I explain everything and explain it to you guys, okay, everybody's saying this was falsely reported, but this is relevant, okay? It says this is not true. They just sent a notification that Sandra is the one who died and was found in a trunk, and an arrest was made on her death. This has nothing to do with Celeste, sadly, but also RIP to this poor woman, okay? KTLA did a correction, so fair play to them, okay? But this is what's important here. This relates to the other body, the one burned in a trunk of a different car. Don't know why they decided to include it along.
Hey, I didn't realize it was bodies. He got more than one body attached to his name. That's crazy.
Inside this article, though, I think they got their stories mixed up since they both relate to bodies being found in a car. Okay, people are saying this isn't about Celeste's case. Okay, it's related to a body, okay, that was found in a car in South LA. It's a different story, okay? It's a completely different story, but it is another case where a woman was found dead inside the trunk of a car. Okay, and I think this is really, really interesting, right? The reason why I think this is very, very interesting is because we've been hearing endless talk about when's David's arrest going to happen? Why hasn't David been arrested? Why hasn't anything been done about this situation? And obviously there's a lot of talk about the body decomposing in the car being, you know, the body being left in a state where it's really hard for them to identify, the toxicology reports looking like it's going to be taking months, all of these things. But I think that this situation actually shows that the police can and do, all right, manage to track down people that are involved when a body is left in the trunk of a car. Now, I just want you guys to understand, like, I'm not trying to clickbait you, but what I'm trying to say, okay, a lot of people thought maybe that this was the situation that was actually kind of confused with the David situation. So this is the case, and this all went down basically around exactly like all around the same time, but in a different tow yard as the David situation. Okay, so check this out, right? Because I want you guys to understand.
Now I vaguely do remember hearing about 2 different bodies in 2 different tow yards in the LA area around the same time. Yep, but the David one had kind of like overshadowed the other one. Now I do recall.
And the timeline. I think what's really interesting is the timeline. Both of these cars were found around the same time, dead body in the trunk, in a tow yard. Okay, and it just goes to show you, okay, there's going to be some interesting differences and contrasts here with the David situation and this situation. A lot of people are wondering, why have they managed to track down and get the person in this case, but the David thing, it seems out of reach? There's a lot of talk, there's a lot of confusion about what's going on. Okay, so look at this news clip. This will explain what happened with the car.
Breaking news, a body found in a car at a tow yard in South Los Angeles. This is a live look at the scene as investigators go through the wreckage of this car. And if this story sounds familiar to you, we started this newscast off with a body that was found in a different tow yard yesterday. That was in a Tesla owned by 20-year-old David Anthony Burke, a singer who is on tour right now. In this case, this body was found this afternoon inside that what appears to be a Honda in a South LA tow yard, Owl's Tow. We're trying to get more information. As we get it, we'll bring it to you.
So
new at 5, it was
in this case, right, a death investigation is underway after a body was found inside of a tow yard. Owl's Towing at St. Andrew's Place. Tents were around the Honda sedan, and the police were investigating the discovery. Now, an update has taken place. An arrest has been made.
In connection with the death of a person found in the trunk of a vehicle at a tow yard in South Los Angeles. This is not the death investigation involving the car that belongs to the singer David. This was a separate case last month. Police say that they have arrested 52-year-old Sandra Romo Diaz for the murder. The victim still has not been publicly.
So they haven't publicly identified
new at
the
5,
victim
it was
in that case, okay? But the police have actually managed to track down the person responsible for this in you know, what is about 24 days ago. So that's just over 3 weeks, okay? Sandra Romo Diaz, 52, was taken into custody. It doesn't have any more details or interesting backstory about how the person was found in the car. It seems like all of the information has circulated around this David case, okay? And it says the body found in the vehicle has still not been identified at that point, okay? So this situation, I think, really stands out to me, okay? Because it shows that there's other circumstances, other situations where the police are indeed able to find evidence and basically prove, at least in their opinion, that they're actually making an arrest for murder. This is actually a murder arrest. You know, it's not desecration of a corpse. It's not anything. It's just straight up 24 days from the body being found, and somebody is officially being arrested for murder. So it sparks the question, what's taking so long in the David situation? Is it a case that there's actually just way more evidence, way more backstory to get through in the David situation? I mean, we've been seeing these mountains of evidence, these, crazy posts from Discord, all of these old songs, all of these weird pictures that seemingly show David with the victim. It makes you wonder, have the police seen something that actually might convince them that David isn't the person responsible? Because as we can see,
that's what I'm saying. They have to have, because like you say, with all that evidence tying them to it, allegedly, apparently, they would at least have seemingly made an arrest. That's not enough to get a warrant on my mama.
From this contrasting case, okay, it is possible within 24 days for them to get the evidence together and prove at least enough to make a murder charge that somebody is actually responsible for this body being put in the car that ended up in the tow yard. Now, I would really love to know some more details, like some more backstory and details about this case. I'd love to do a bit more of an in-depth analysis, but I think the reason why it's so difficult, I've really struggled to find information about this case because the person who died still hasn't been identified. All we found out now is the name of this person who's been arrested for it, but we're not getting any of this backstory. And it really just goes to show you how different things play out when you've got a celebrity involved. A lot of people have been drawing parallels between the David situation to the O.J. Simpson case, and a lot of people saying, David's allegedly hiring the top attorneys in Los Angeles, Hollywood fixers.
Why O.J.? Because he black? That's crazy. What about... That's crazy.
There's rumors that, maybe there's a lot of damage control going on social media, alternative narratives being spread around. it's possible that the police are actually aware of these kind of activities and that they're actually thinking, okay, we really are up against a serious challenge here. We need to actually get together a much more comprehensive breakdown. I mean, look, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful or kind of point out anything that's not relevant, but something that I do think is interesting is when you consider this a case of somebody who, you know, the David case, somebody who's incredibly wealthy. Okay, they've got a lot of connections, they've got a lot of money behind them. They're in a position where they can put up a much more serious defense to these charges. And I think one of the things that actually maybe just makes this a stark contrast is the cars that were found, okay? If you look at the difference, I mean, this is a bigger societal question that we're bringing to the table here, okay? In this case, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but this is a more of a clapped out Honda, okay, that the body's been found in, okay? These are people probably from a less fortunate socio-economic situation.
911 is a joke in your town. 911 is a joke. Always has been when it comes to the less fortunate.
Well, not even a less fortunate economic situation than David's in. David, we've got a body being found in a $100,000 Tesla, okay? It just goes to show you that these are two different cases, okay, very similar, bodies being found in cars, but they're two different sets of people from very different walks of life, from very different levels of the social and financial hierarchy in Los Angeles. And I think this is going to be really interesting to watch play out, because I want to actually follow this case closely as well and see how quickly it ends up getting prosecuted, how much evidence the police actually had for them to be able to say, okay, we're actually going to put murder charges on this person who's actually also been found with a body in their car. And contrast and compare that to the David situation. You know, this person who has been found in incredibly similar circumstances, arguably with even more, you know, evidence. Yeah, a lot of it's hearsay, a lot of it's not actually substantial, you know, it's not necessarily blood evidence, but, you know, all of these posts on social media that seem to connect David to the victim, and he's still not been arrested. So I think that this really highlights something that's very interesting, at least in America, where the justice system seems to be so just massively influenced by the amount of money that you have and the amount of, well, realistically, power that you can actually have in society when you're a rich and famous celebrity.
How's that working out for Diddy right now in your assessment, Ross? I'm just curious.
So, other people, they're getting arrested for murder with bodies being found in cars. David is still out here. David's still outside. He's still, you know, the rumors that he was cooperating with the police, but we really don't know. There's been people saying that maybe cooperation is as simple as, you know, sitting down and pleading the fifth with them. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. It wasn't me trying to clickbait you or anything like that. I think that this is really interesting because I covered the fact that there were two bodies found in the cars, you know, essentially on the same day, both in tow yards, different tow yards, but on the same day. And we're seeing two cases that should be very similar play out drastically differently, okay? And I'm not trying to pretend like that's not because there's different evidence, but there's also very different backgrounds, people coming from very different sides of the tracks with this story and ultimately ending up in the same situation. So let me know what you guys think down below. Do you feel like this is a money thing? Do you feel like this is an evidence thing? Is it a celebrity fame thing? Is it a case that the police are actually really just trying to get everything in order so they can't, you know, fail at trial when they're going up against a seriously well-funded legal team? Let me know what you guys think down below. I thought this was interesting. And if we have any more updates on this other body in the trunk case, I will be sure to bring you any details and contrast and compare those with the David situation, because I think it's really interesting. Catch you in the next video. Appreciate it.
DJs. So you got the double whips with the tip. Y'all think y'all doing something? West, I'm the first on the list. Y'all think y'all doing something? Cali flag, got it on my wrist. Y'all think y'all doing something? DJ one. Y'all think y'all doing something? Y'all think y'all doing something? Y'all think y'all doing something? Well, I've been quickly coming. Now I'm on every station. Now I'm on every station.
I can to meet my baby mama's demands. Do a mixtape a month, cause I promised my fans. I don't need nobody, I'm a local all alone. I ain't at the top of your list and your roll call is wrong. Smile on my face, defiling the grace of my name. When I leave, I just wipe it off my sleeve. Believe when I leave, it's to progress my living. I'm a lot more cold now, a lot less forgiving. All I did around here still ain't good enough. Now I hear Spider ain't coming to the hood enough. And non-self neighborhood, ECG unit. I die for y'all DV me. I'm the epitome, they love to get rid of me. These days, hard to tell a homie from the enemy. Never been a nigga at every six-pack party. For all these niggas know, I catch a big fat body on crib.
Y'all think y'all doing something west? I'm the first on the list. Y'all think y'all doing something? Cali flag tatted on my wrist. Y'all think y'all doing something? 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 Well, I've been quickly come. Now I'm on every station. Now I'm on every station.
Many mansions, bitch like an actress. Not to even mention we get paper like faxes. Meal under the mattress, I'm oiling the ratchets. Running through Jacksons, busting in Franklins. 16 worth more than a Picasso painting. I'm more than ghetto fabulous, I'm what they call famous. Wasn't from rap though, for moving with the stainless. Before I met an A&R, I was considered on the dangerous. Icy than a motherfucker going to a Raymond's. One day I'm on the block, next day I'm in the Caymans. When the real niggas gone, they think they doing something. Only time you held a gun was tattooing something. Cactus creased up, stars on. Hopping out the limo, blowing endo, finna get my superstar on. Get your head bust, chest bust, soon as the tech bust. West side, nigga, this the best of.
Y'all think y'all doing something west? I'm the first on the list. Y'all think y'all doing something? Cali flag tatted on my wrist. Y'all think y'all doing something? 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 Well, I've been quickly come. Now I'm on every station. Now I'm on every station.
Me and the children of the corn, we check cheese. I'm in the pro club collar, they in V-neck tees. Just got one request, respect these, or else you gon' have to hear that T-Zex squeeze. The three done laid more enemies than all 3 SPs. So miss BS with that BS, please. One of the most easty of the ESC. From the 19 only to the GSD. Ask somebody. After that, tell a friend all around the world if you're wondering where the hell I been. About my ends and all it costs. Can't catch me on the cell phone, call the office. Should've seen they faces, they always nauseous. All the losses they take trying to outball the bosses. A few tosses, and they feel that they moving something. Usually the one that flosses ain't doing nothing.
Y'all think y'all doing something west? I'm the first on the list. Y'all think y'all doing something? Cali flag tatted on my wrist. Y'all think y'all doing something? 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 Well, I've been quickly come. Now I'm on every station. Now I'm on every station.
Hey, I'm sitting here doing a reaction. The title of the reaction is "The Man Who Exposed the Crips and Bloods and CIA Connection to Crack Cocaine." When I started it off, I said, man, they might mention two of my partners, Rick or Melvin. I'm about 5 minutes in and they just mentioned Rick Ross, man. What you got to say about the CIA and crack cocaine real quick? Just give me a couple seconds.
It was some fucked up shit that the government was willing to sacrifice the black community to raise money for a war in Nicaragua.
Like that personal. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.